And welcome to Sports Chat fans. We are here for another week. Want to talk about this week. Just got back from the Oak Ridge Relays. Quite an exciting day on the track. Campbell County baseball and softball has been in action this week. Tennis returns to action next week. UT spring practice is in full bore. NFL draft is fast approaching, so a lot to talk about this week. Of course, today we started at the Relays. Strong showings for some local teams.
Yeah, Kristen Chapman, of course, was leading the way in the high jump. And
the triple jump.
And the triple jump as well. She usually wins both of those. Shayla Goins had thrown over 100 feet in the discus, and she was actually throwing with the boys.
Because they had the ACT this morning, she got there late for the shot.
They let her go because it was the ACT, and I expect she probably won. I've not saw the final results. They won't be posted until tomorrow. But she always does well. Her and Kristen probably are going to be. Kristen, of course, will be in strong contention for the state title in the high jump, the triple jump,
and the pentathlon.
As well. Shayla in the shot and the discus will be probably a top 3 in the state finisher again this year.
But she's a track scholarship waiting to happen. I mean, she can really launch those things.
Hope she did well on her ACT this morning. That will.
That's a big deal when it comes to
really help her out a lot. Darndest race of the day was the shuttle hurdle race on the girls' side of it.
It's a little bit different from what you see at most meets. It's a 60-meter run, teams of 4. Not unlike a relay, only instead of handing a baton. Once you cross the zone, you start.
Yeah, they ran towards each other. You can see on the channel here the video of it. Anderson County got pretty far behind in the first of the race, and were probably 3 or 4 hurdles.
Lenore City had a commanding lead.
And Campbell County's girl, Kendra Miller, she goes to AC. Man, she took off like a jet on that final leg and just blew down the track. I mean, she was awesome, man. Made up almost every bit of the ground. I'm not sure if she won or not.
It was too close to tell. The official results won't be posted till tomorrow.
That was one of the biggest comebacks I've ever saw in such a short race. And her college coach, congratulations to Kendra, by the way, she just signed with Tennessee Wesleyan, or she's going to sign with Tennessee Wesleyan.
Officially going to sign the 26th.
Her first ever track team Tennessee Wesleyan's ever had. It'd be a Campbell County girl down there, and she's probably going to hold some school records in the hurdles for a while.
And possibly the triple jump. She's actually quite the triple jumper
She's
herself.
got that too, but man, she roared down that track. Her coach was just, he told us he was just amazed to find somebody that her caliber waiting to get a scholarship. Congratulations to her, Kendra. You did very well.
She had some. There's been plenty of other schools look at her. University of the Cumberland's offered her both a track and cheerleading scholarship.
Milligan College in Johnson City.
She had a look at ETSU.
ETSU expressed interest in her, I believe.
Carson Newman.
Tennessee Tech, I think, did as well. So, she's going to go to Wesleyan. I think she'll be good. She'll do Campbell County proud.
She's quite the athlete. The baseball team came up against a UT signing this week.
Yeah.
Powell's Owenby is an impressive pitcher. There were major league scouts apparently. There was a guy from the Seattle.
I'm just hoping he actually goes to UT because he may get drafted for baseball. You can get hundreds of thousands or over $1 million in the baseball draft pretty easily.
Bo Ferris, the only Cougar that has had much success against him. Bo's an outstanding multi-sport athlete.
Yeah, he's good at football, but baseball.
He actually, if I'm not mistaken, in middle school was a really good basketball player.
He's a good athlete for Campbell County. Some of those Knoxville area teams are really tough to handle. They just have those, that's one thing about Knoxville and East Tennessee. For whatever reason, it's never produced a ton of football talent. Now, there's more than it gets credit for. You never really see any big-time basketball players come out of Knoxville for the most part. There are occasionally some. One guy starts at Mississippi State that played on the Florida State championship team right now. But baseball, they churn out some baseball players.
I mean, you can go. I mean, you can go back even further than that. But you could go back to that one fellow, Todd Helton. Might know him. Yeah, I remember we were in high school when he played at Central. I remember old Casey Will was saying, "Todd Helton ain't nothing." Todd Helton got up there and whiffed Casey about 3 times at bat.
Todd Helton was something. He also on the football field. I want to say that was 63-0.
Yeah.
But Knoxville area, it's just produced a lot of baseball prospects over the years that go on to college, and that's just another one of them. And Campbell County's just happens to be a big school that gets in the division with a lot of the big Knoxville teams.
It's tough. I mean, look at softball. They played Powell and Halls this week, and those are 2 tough teams.
The big thing about those Knoxville area teams is they have club teams all through middle school. And Campbell County's finally getting a club team at middle school. Lindsay Tomlin, she's doing a great job with them, and Richard Rutherford, giving their time up to go out there and coach these kids. And that'll pay off in the future.
Yeah, and you can see it a little bit if you look at the softball team now. Christy Stanley and Jordan Darty and Megan Goodman, I know all played some Little League softball, and they're making some plays. I mean, it's a struggle. I mean, you're playing some tough teams, but Jordan had some clean outs. Christy looks good at shortstop.
I'll say this, they got beat Friday by Cumberland Gap 2-1, but I was impressed. They played an error-free game. That's their first one of the season. Errors cost you a lot of runs. They're getting better at it. It's just a process. We'll see what happens in the future with it.
The tennis team, they were off pretty much last week. They actually played against Hardin Valley Thursday and lost.
Yeah.
That was the first match they've had in a while.
Hardin Valley's very good. Tennis has been rained out a lot. It's been as we all know, it's been a very rainy spring.
Yeah, in Hardin Valley, they play over it. Knoxville has West Hills Country Club, Smoky Mountain Tennis Academy. There's a lot of places to get good tennis instruction in Knoxville.
Knoxville has a lot of. They don't have middle school sports in Knoxville.
Right.
I don't know if they have elementary school sports either.
No, they don't.
But they have very extensive inter-city teams, city leagues, the junior pro type teams in every sport. And they're traveling football squads that the middle schools practice against up here are just dominating.
We used to, when I coached at Jacksboro, the first time around, the Johnny Bruce years, we used to bring in Powell's team. They would come stay at the decrepit family inn, and we would have mini camp with them. Our linemen would work with their linemen, our backs would work with their backs, all that, and we'd scrimmage at the end of every day, and they were tough. And actually, the guy that coached that team was Todd Helton's uncle.
Yeah, a lot of Helton coaching going on over the years in different sports.
They've got some good stuff. Now, this Campbell County in baseball has switched from Little League to Dixie Youth. Dixie Youth, I'm not going to bore you all with the explanation, but Dixie Youth is a better setup for our local area. It's more designed for rural, and for the first time that I can remember, Jacksboro, La Follette, and Caryville are all playing in one league. The teams from Caryville will play, not only the teams from Caryville, but the teams from Jacksboro and La Follette. There's games at Asbury Park, Pine Park, Rec Center. It's a big deal.
That's good. I would love to see a good football league established.
Well, we're on that way.
With some good, confident coaching.
Brent Lester is running the Little League now. I played football. Brent Lester and Stephen Phillips. I played football with Brent. I mean, I've known Stephen for years. I know he was a good player coach. But I played with Brent. Brent, good football player. Had an outstanding career as a running back at Jacksboro and at the high school.
I would really love to see some way to get Jellicoe involved in that too.
I would too.
And that would really help, hopefully, Jellicoe's participation on the team level. Does Jellicoe Middle School even have enough players to fill the football team at the middle school level? I've never noticed Jacksboro will follow play.
Jacksboro JV will play them. In fact, Jacksboro's JV plays them at the Jamboree.
With the Jamboree and
La
Jacksboro.
Follette actually played them regular season.
But they just, help them just get more support drummed up for football on that side of the mountain would help a lot at the high school level.
One of the toughest things about that side of the mountain is you don't have the numbers, obviously you do down here. What would be great is if you could field an Elk Valley team, a White Oak team, and a Jellicoe team, put them in the same league as probably a Follett team and a combined Jacksboro-Carroll team. You'd almost have to do a combined Jacksboro-Carroll
It would
team.
be tough to, are you talking about combining Jellicoe, Elk Valley, and White Oak, or having three separate teams of that?
You have to combine. There's no way you can pull off.
I know you have to combine. I'm not sure what the system is in Whitley County either for Jellicoe to be playing some teams right across the border. And I imagine Scott County's probably got some decent youth football.
Scott County actually, well, I mean, you've seen Oneida.
Yeah, that's why I said that, because Oneida's so powerful on the football.
They have obviously Oneida, Huntsville, and I think Fairview. That's the other community. Fairview plays some youth football.
And those are small. I mean, Scott County's small. Oneida's
Oneida's a tiny school.
it's probably not much bigger than Jellicoe. And Huntsville, of course, is way smaller than Jellicoe. So, I mean, if Scott County can do it, Campbell County should be able to do it. There's, almost 50,000 people live in Campbell County now. That's double the population of Scott County and Morgan County. And a lot of good football's played at a lot of different schools in Morgan County.
Oh yeah, I mean Morgan County in the last couple of years have had 3 teams of their 4 high schools ranked top 10 in the state.
And I know this, Matt and Justin Price and their staff, they're working really hard with a bunch of different people in the community to make all levels of football better. We got that new sports information director out there on it. He's cracking the whip down, getting that information.
Absolutely.
He's pretty much stopped hanging out with most of his friends just to get his information out there. He's a hard-working sports information director.
He is the Johnny Rayner of sports information directors, the hard-working man.
But I expect over the next 3 or 4 years, you'll see Campbell County football rising a lot. And so I would love to see it transfer over into Jellicoe too, and have both the high schools in the county just have really good sports.
And with Jellicoe, on that level of play, if you can get 1 or 2 just superstar type players and some good role players, you can dominate. In fact, Jellicoe did that a few years back with Kenny Bowen.
If they can just get any depth at all, they'll compete.
Yeah, I'll tell a story. A buddy of mine used to coach. He played with the Prices, DeMont. David got by the name of Derek Marlowe was coaching him at Jellicoe. He called me. So, you want to come up here and coach with me? He had me talked into coaching until some politics got in his way. And I'm going to tell you, I was going to take about 5 players from Jacksboro with me. And Jellicoe would have been a different football team. 1 from LaFollette. Jellicoe would have been a different football team. Jellicoe with a Brian Muncie at linebacker. Or Brandon Kennedy would have probably been the running back, and Matt Marshall would have probably been the quarterback. And and I'd had a couple linemen, and it would have been a different ball game up at Jellicoe.
Things would have definitely been fresh up there with that crew.
And I was well on my way of taking DeMont up there with me to coach. And unfortunately, it was Michael Martin politics back when he was director of schools. Kept that from happening.
His corrupt empire crumbled around him, and it's still being cleaned up to this day.
That's actually one of the big what ifs in my life. What would have happened if I would have went and coached at Jellicoe High School when Derek called me? And it would have been.
You could have had some interesting matchups with Rodney in the last couple of years, possibly.
Would have. I've never went head to head with Rodney. Went head to head with Sean. Beat him like a drum. 3 times. Sean, 3 times. Of course, UT's still in spring practice.
Yeah, we're heading rapidly toward the spring game. You're not hearing a lot of big earth-shattering news. You never do in spring, even if you
Oh, and Dooley's not as media open as some coaches have been in the past.
even if you do hear a big news in spring about big play, you can't really trust it because there's always players who look great in spring you never hear from again.
Right.
The main thing about it, Justin Hunter looks reasonably healthy. Tyler Bray looks reasonably healthy. Derek Rogers has calmed down and stopped being stupid. The defense seems to be coming along decently well with the new defensive coordinator. And running this 3-4 package he's putting in. I mean, that you know, you can get by with less defensive tackles with that scheme, so that's pretty good.
You do need a dominating nose tackle really for that. Of course, we've got a good old nose tackle, so.
Well, you really got a good linebackers. And that's going to be the base. There are going to be times when it looks like they're still going to be running the 4-3. Sometimes it looks like they're running the 5-2. And they probably will sometimes, but we're going to see how it works out. Dooley, you know, he's in such a hard spot, and a lot of it's his own making with the way he let the program slip a little bit out of control. And, you know, he's had the chaos that resulted finally in the mid-Kentucky loss. He's pretty much, it's either get it under control or head somewhere else at this point.
Of course, if he does, Bobby Petrino's out there.
Hey, I would love to have Bobby Turner just win. You know,
Absolutely.
That whole situation with his personal life, I'm not really big into getting into people's personal lives. He probably didn't do the smart thing by hiring the girl. But, you know, I'm not one to judge people if you want to fool around on your old lady, whatever. That's your decision.
That's between you, her, your mistress, and, you know, whatever.
Whatever you may believe, whatever you might believe in. You know, so you think Santan will get you for doing it, you probably shouldn't do it. He's a good coach. And I'm at least glad to see him leaving the SEC from now on. That's one. I mean, even though Arkansas rolled off the schedule this year, at least some other programs have some chaos in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, just wait till next year. Next year at this time, we might be sitting here talking about the new coach in spring practice. We might be talking about, well, you know, it was a pretty good season. We should be really good next year. Because Tennessee should be really good next year and the year after both. Because frankly, you got offensive line has 35, 40 starts coming back. Defense, the next 2 years are going to be juniors and seniors. Should be pretty good.
No more youth excuse.
Now that excuse is over with. And saw a magazine the other day, NFL Draft magazine. Tyler Bray and Justin Hunter were both in the top 500 classmen in the country. And when you got two of the essentially five best players in the country on your team in a given year, you should be able to do something with it, especially when they play quarterback and wide receiver. And you know, Rogers is very good himself. You know, and Rogers will be if he can get his head straightened out, he'll be a first-round NFL draft pick. You know, you got the 3 first-rounders on offense right there at least, just at your skill positions. You need to get the running game straightened out. They've been working on that in spring, but
of course, Devin Young's seeing more action at running back.
He's exceptionally fast. And
He's kind of small.
That worked out well in Florida though, in Rainey and Dempsey.
Yeah.
They're all tiny and they had a couple hundred yards. Did you see the big story that I was just so pleased with? It was the chaos that Florida was in.
I missed that one this week.
It's come out about how Urban Meyer, and strangely Urban Meyer had took some cracks about Florida. But some former Meyer players are coming out and talking about just how the double
how the program, yes, I did see that.
Swirling chaos and double standards.
How a receiver attacked a coach.
The receivers fighting with the coaches, literally physically fighting with the coaches, and Percy Harvin, and just how certain star players got the preferential treatment. They said Percy Harvin didn't like to run stadium steps, so he just sat down in the middle of them and told the strength and training guy, said, I'm not running any more of these. They said the next day they started playing basketball for strength and conditioning. For their cardio training.
Good luck with that one, Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm hoping Ohio State goes and joins Florida in the gutter. I'm hoping Florida can't crawl out of the gutter with Muschamp. But they said that was one of Florida's big problems last year, was just the terrible discipline. And they called it the Fulmer Cup. There was 2 Florida fans who started that side, the Fulmer Cup. Tennessee never actually wins the Fulmer Cup. Never have won the Fulmer Cup. They never had the most arrests in a year. Georgia's won it several years. Florida won it 3 years in a row in the
That's pretty impressive.
And, you know, I don't know why they're not, there's petition now to change it to the Urban Cup.
I don't know, man. I hate to see Phil lose that honor.
That's all Phil has left. And besides his $5 million he took from UT for second.
Well, you know, you got to be in the blind side. I'm full forward, I'm fat. I still can't recruit this guy because of filthy Ole Miss alumni.
But, otherwise, you know, the NFL draft is rolling on. It's pretty much scheduled. I'm sure the Colts are still going to take luck. Even though
Yeah.
tonight.
I watched some ESPN this week with John Gruden. There's no way they're not taking luck.
You know, honestly, I would just, if something does happen to Dooley this year, we don't win 8, 9 games, I would just hope they say, you know, listen, John Gruden, here's $6 million.
Come back.
Come down here and coach. You know, you live 50, 20 miles from here. Your parents or whatever, or your wife's parents, whatever, one's from Jefferson City. You know, just move in right here. I would offer it to his wife.
Yeah. You know Gruden wants back in coaching. There's only so long you can sit in the
He's been in the
studio.
studio for about 3 years. He's still young, still charismatic, and if you listen to him talk about football,
He knows football.
He took that Raiders team out of chaos to the Super Bowl. And then he took Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl too. And, you know, that's just hard to beat. He's one of the better coaches you'll find not in coaching right now.
Especially for his age.
Especially reasonably young, under 50, I'm pretty sure.
Well, fans, we're rapidly running out of time. Tuesday, there is a track meet at Campbell County High School. I highly recommend you check it out if you've never been to a track meet before. Fans, we will see you next week.